Why don't we go ahead and get started? My name is Kendall Johnson. I am the account executive here at Stantip. I'm also joined by Hugh Gale, who is the subject matter expert and sales specialist who will be running through the product here of OrchestraPRM. And so why don't we go ahead and get started with today's webinar. So first, to kick off, what we'd like to do is to talk a little about what PRM or Partner Relationship Management means to the customers we've presented it to since the launch of this particular product. We'll talk about that in a few slides. We'll also show the product itself, and we'll also take your questions related to some of the challenges that you're thinking about and some of the questions you may have on OrchestraPRM. A good way to start may be to talk about what our customers consider important about partner relationship management. And when we talk to our customers, a lot of the times they say what's important to them is really they're looking for a simplified way to strategically align with their agents, their brokers, their VARs to more effectively manage their sales, their deals, and of course their opportunities. And I think this is one of the reasons why this is such a hot space. When Salesforce introduced partner communities, one of the biggest challenges that Salesforce customers had was how do we effectively take what we have in communities and leverage a lot of those fields and components to make it more effective in Salesforce, which you're just not getting today in communities. Introducing OrchestraPRM. We help leverage those features because we are a fully branded solution that is mobile response, which is clicks, not code, just like Salesforce, which I really quickly want to go to the last point, which is we are built on Visualforce, which not only is, because we're native to Salesforce, allows for us to service all of those fields, all of those codes, but we're also able to transition for those customers who are looking to not only enhance their Salesforce ecosystem when Lightning is introduced to the market. We are that conduit that allows you to surface a lot of those the values that you have in Visualforce to Lightning. And we'll talk about that when we show the product. So what are the keys to the values in using OrchestraPRM? There's three main areas that we hear a lot from our customers that they found very important. One, native to Salesforce, very, very important. Secondly, we allow for the personalized experience for the users and the authors who utilize the solution. But third might be the most important, the one that we hear the most that really sets us apart from our competition, that we're natively a content management solution, which means that we really focus on a content specific, not page specific, and we'll talk about what that really means, in which allows partners not only to concentrate on communications from the vendors, but allows also to put that forth depending on what type of partner or vendor you are from the company. So let's break that down and make it more clear in terms of what our solution can do for your organization. And the very first thing is that we can enhance engagement. How do we do that? By enhancing communications, by enhancing incentives for your partners. And the ways you can do that can be around campaign management and event management, really around the post-sales. Also educating your partner with training documents and instructional videos. We allow for you to not only house that information, we're not a LSM, but we are able to house that information for you to have your partners access all that material easily and readily. And then execute. Allowing you to align with your partners on understanding where opportunities are, channel plans, and then having an understanding of how you can help and incentivize them and understand where they are in the deal cycle. So that's a lot of the areas that we find our customers looking at when they think about PRM. Let's go into a little bit of the product itself and show you some of the key features and the values that we see in PRM. And at this point, what I'll do is turn it over to Hugh, and Hugh will get started and show you the product. Hugh?
Great, thank you very much. So what I'm going to do today is walk you through a demonstration of OrchestraPRM. And first I'd like to say for anybody out in the audience, if you do have a question as I'm going through, please enter your questions into the chat window on the webinar. So first, let me introduce you to Hammonds. So Hammonds is a fictitious North American retailer that acts as a merchandise wholesaler for smaller regional retailers. And so Hammonds has created a partner program in place with a number of tier levels. And today I'm going to show you a couple of their partners, one at the gold tier level and one at the platinum level. And what Hammonds has done recently is launched the new partner community using OrchestraPRM. Now, OrchestraPRM is the product that you're looking at today, and I wanted to emphasize that OrchestraPRM is built on top of Orchestra CMS. Orchestra CMS is the web content management system for Salesforce, and what this does, it enables business users to manage the community. All the content and pages and capability you're going to see in here today, those content items are managed by business users. And as we go through the system, I'm going to show the capabilities of the PRM product, and then what I'll do is I'll drill into the back end and show you how that content gets created with Orchestra CMS. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the landing page. This is a public landing page for Hammond's partner community. One of the things that they'd like to do is to encourage partners to become a partner. So over on the right-hand side, you can see that there's an apply here. Now, the apply here, if a partner has not yet signed up for Hammond's partner program, they can come in and enter the information, their contact information, a little bit about themselves and details. And once that information is entered and they click on the apply, what happens is that this information is stored directly into Salesforce, whereas, as Kendall mentioned, we're 100% native on the Salesforce platform, so that information is stored directly into Salesforce. Then what we have is workflow associated with the storage of that record to notify the appropriate people to go through the approval process to determine whether or not that user is eligible for the partner program and what level that they should apply to. Also on this landing page, you can see that Hammonds puts out information about their partner program. Here's information about the news on the partner programs. They also put out some information about some of their featured products. So this is content that's built within the Orchestra CMS component. This is information that's surfaced up dynamically. What we have within the product is the ability to surface up content dynamically within the system simply based on the partner program news tag or else the products tag down below. And of course this information that you're seeing in here is completely configurable for every user that implements this. The content that you're seeing is an implementation of OrchestraPRM. So first of all, what I want you to see is a user by the name of Paul Roberts. And Paul is a partner with a company called Smith & Sons, and they're based out in San Francisco. They're in the West Coast region. So what happens when Paul logs in? First of all, the system recognizes him, notified as Paul. And his partner logo, the Smith & Sons logo, is displayed prominently, and it also shows that he's in the Gold Partner Program. Now what we have within PRM is the ability to target content specifically to the user based on their profile. And so because this user is a Gold user, he's seeing content that's targeted specifically to Gold partners. We have an article here on Gold partner success stories and information about a new line being added into the Gold Partner Program. And he also sees content that's available for all tiers within the partner program. The other thing that we've done in here is that we've targeted content to him based on his region. There's a West Coast event coming up September 14th to 16th, so that's been highlighted prominently on the center portion of this page. That's because he's based out in San Francisco and he sees the West Coast event. Now let me contrast that with another user, Carmen. And Carmen is with a company called Ariana. when Carmen logs into the system, she'll see that she's with the Ariana, so she sees her company logo, and she's at the Platinum program level. So at the Platinum program level, she sees differentiated content. She sees information about the Platinum partnership level and then upgrades to the MDF program for the Platinum partners. And again, she sees that common information that Paul also saw. Now, she's based in New York, and she sees that there's an event coming up for her based out on the East Coast and upcoming in October 29th, 31st. Now, the other aspect of PRM is that Carmen often is traveling remotely, and so what she often does is she looks at the site from her mobile device. And what we have is a fully responsive design associated with this. What you're looking at now is the site right on my mobile phone here, and you can see what's happened is that that navigation menu is showing up as a mobile style navigation menu, and then that multi-column display is changed to a single column display to make it optimal for the mobile device. So all the templates within PRM then are fully responsive to match the device that's looking at the site. So let me go back over to Paul. Let me walk you through some of the capabilities within Orchestra PRM. First of all, the events that we have within the system are based on the standard Salesforce calendar. And within the Salesforce calendar, you can create these events, and then we can associate content with those events, and users can register for these events. So if Paul is interested in registering for the West Coast event, he can select that particular item, and here we have details associated with big banner image associated with it, details around the event, and we even have geolocation, so it shows the geolocation out in Moscone Center, and then I can click on RSVP to register for the event. Paul's already registered, and if he wishes to, he can register additional guests for that particular event. Now what we do is then on the portion of this page here is we're positioning featured content. So these are key articles that are of interest. Here we've got an item that's around gold partner success stories in here, and this content is actually surfaced up as video content. We can show both video content and article content. This is a video. We're actually storing this over in the YouTube library. You can have any video repository surfacing content. We also have this particular item. Paul is interested to hear about the details around the retail sales climbing, and we have a text-based article for him to read through in here. And then over on the right-hand side of this page, what we have first of all is a quick create. We have the ability to create a deal registration. So deal registration is the ability for Smith & Sons to register a deal that they've come across and have that go through the approval process to make sure that Hammonds agrees with them having that particular client. They have a quick access to the fund request or task case, and I'll show you those as we go through a little bit later on. The other portion of this screen down here, I show the upcoming events as well as my top deals by quarter. Now we also have a sub-menu within here. So in addition to the featured content on the home page, we also have the lead queue. So this is where Hammonds does quite a bit of marketing, and they have a number of different leads coming in. And what they do is they want to push those leads out to the partner. So sometimes they'll automatically assign them based on the specialty of the partner or the location of the partner, and other times they just place them into the lead queue and where the partner can select them. So if Paul is interested in taking on this Bear Creek holding opportunity, he could collect on accept, and that would go into his leads that he's working on. There's also an approval section. Within the PRM, we have a number of areas where you can submit for approvals. Here's an example where he's submitted for MDF for merchandising. He's asked for some funding for merchandising promotion that they have within Smith & Sons, and that's gone through the approval process at Hammonds, and you can see that status is set to pending. Now the other thing that we are is again 100% native on Salesforce, so you've seen some aspects of Salesforce so far, such as the calendar, but another aspect we take advantage of is the chatter capability. So within Orchestra, or within PRM rather, we have the ability to leverage chatter. And here's a list of the different chatter groups that I have. This is the merchandising best practices, and we also have different trending topics. So you might be interested in partner certification. You can see details around partner certification. And then in addition to the groups and the trending topics, I also have my feed in here, so I can see what's happening of all the people that I'm following and all the different events that I'm following within the PRM system. Okay, so that's the home page. There's quite a bit of information to access on the home page, and this is an excellent way to get started with PRM, to provide this type of information to the user. Another area that's very important is to provide information to them around product information. Here we've got in the training section, we have product catalog information. We get details about all the different Hammond's products. We've got an area down below where we have training documents. So these are specific documents that are provided based on his tier level for training of the partner program. And then we have a video library in here as well, so we can review these training videos, and these have been broken down into a different categorization. We have the partner program, merchandising, and retail management. And again, all this content that you're looking at is completely configurable to your implementation, the content that we've created in here specific for Hammond's. So let me walk you through each one of those different areas within the training section. So over here we have the different categorizations of the products within Hammond's. So for example, if I'm interested in the electronics section, I could click through the electronics section. I can see the details about the electronics product. Now just a note about the way this content gets created within the Orchestra CMS and then added into PRM is that these content elements are created independent of any of the pages. They're done by business users to create these content items, and then what happens is that they get tagged with the appropriate area. So for example, in the personal care products, if I was adding content in here, I would then link it into personal care products, and these are surfaced dynamically. So the content editor doesn't need to create an item to have it linked up on the page. And what this facilitates is the ability to keep up to date with the products. So in this area, if Paul wanted to keep up to date on personal care products, he could ask for an email alert. He could get that immediately, daily or weekly. That schedule is configurable. He'll select daily, and what that means is that whenever there's a new piece of content added into the personal care products area, he will receive a notification of that with a summary of the product and link right back into the site. So he doesn't have to keep going back into the product area to see if there's new content being added in there. So that's the way that works. And you can see here are the different product alerts in here, and these are all the areas that he's been subscribing and has subscribed to. Now down in here, these are training documents, and these are documents, these are PDF documents where you can get access to, and these items, he can click on that and view the particular content. He can take that offline and review it with them if he's away from the internet, so we get access to those training documents anywhere where he wants. And then lastly, we have the video library. We have a featured video on this page, and then we have areas of interest. He may be interested in the retail, in the merchandising area, and you can click through and get the watch the video that he's interested in. Okay, so that's the training section that we have within here. And one question I am asked often is that do we have a full learning management system, LMS, within the PRM? And this is what we have for the training, and you can certainly integrate additional LMS products within PRM if you have a product within your organization. Okay, so the next area within here are the events. And so these are the upcoming events, and this is a public calendar within Salesforce that I'm looking at, and I can see all of the upcoming events that I have, and if I want to, again, I can subscribe to those events if it's appropriate for that particular events, to RSVP to those particular events. Now associated with that, we also have the ability for me to keep track of my tasks. In here I could create a new task, or I could update a task that I'm working on. Maybe I've started that task already, and I'll click on the update button to have that updated. So I have the ability to keep track of my tasks that I'm working on within PRM. Now the next section is to manage the opportunities. So once you've rolled out the PRM, having the opportunities is an important area. So this is an area where we leverage the Salesforce opportunity capability for the users to keep track of the opportunities that they're working on. And this is important. This is important for your company to be able to understand, what the upcoming sales activity is, the potential forecast for the quarter, making sure that all of your partners are updating these opportunities. And so here is a list of all of the opportunities for Smith & Sons, and then if he's working on a particular item, maybe he's add an update on this one. He can go in and make a revision in here. Perhaps this one set to close lost. We'll set this one to it's back into the price proposal, and this time it's been updated to 99,000. I'll click on save. And so for those of you who are familiar with Salesforce opportunities, we're leveraging the same capabilities that you would have in the Salesforce, only fully branded to the PRM environment. Now that leads queue that I was talking about earlier on, here are my open leads that I have. I have a number of different areas of leads that I'm working on. So these are items that are not qualified yet enough to become opportunities, but I'm keeping track of them. And within here, I can add all of my activities associated with each one of these leads as I move them through the pipeline and eventually get them into the opportunity stage. There's also the campaign section within here, so I can go and query and see what's happening with the different campaigns and what the status is for the different campaigns that I have running on currently. I also provide reporting capability within here. First of all, we have a rich set of different dashboards. And these dashboards, I can see my assigned leads, the revenue that I have this quarter, the campaigns I was just showing you, the lead queue, pipeline, and case status. So this is fully configurable. This is leveraging the Salesforce dashboard capability so that you can create specific dashboards that would be of interest. And here we've got a number of different dashboards in addition to partner dashboard. We have channel plan, coaching dashboards, adoption dashboards, and company performance dashboards. So those are the out-of-the-box dashboards that come with PRM. And then there's a whole set of rich reports as well that come with the dashboard. We've got the channel plan reports, the coaching reports, the goal reports, then we've got the MDF budget reports, the funds to claims reports, and performance summary reports as well. Case is an important aspect, and case management is, I've had an issue, I've been having a problem with the address change in here, so I need to go in and change the shipment address, and here I need to know if I can change the location of the client's delivery. So this works with the case management within Salesforce so that you'll be interacting with the folks that support people within Hammonds in order to close and fix up these particular cases. So this is all done online. I can add comments into my cases, the traditional case capability. Now we also have fund requests built within PRM. So this is where I have my funding. I was showing you this particular one was the approval. Here's where I create the fund request. And this is an example. This MDF, this is market development funds. This is an area for a company like Hammonds to be able to provide marketing funding to help partners in their various campaigns and marketing efforts. In this example, what they wanted to do is update their flagship store with their merchandising strategy. They're targeting the retail shoppers, primarily geared towards affluent women. What they want to do is to increase their sales by $100,000 for this fiscal year with the updated merchandising strategy. So they've applied for $2,000 funding. And what's happened is that this has been sent to approval, and then the appropriate representative Hammonds will review this this request, and then if it's approved, they will have that notification approved, and then the funds will be forwarded to them. And if they need to discuss, they can add comments into the MDF, and then or reach out directly to discuss and update the MDF accordingly. Right along those lines are the channel plans, and it's important to have plans associated with your partners. And so we have a channel planning capability within PRM so that the partners can have plans specific to their region and their goals within the partner ecosystem within Hammonds. And so here's a sample plan, albeit fairly simplistic. Most plans will be more detailed than this, but for demonstration purposes, what they have in here is a go-to-market strategy to revise their merchandising strategy with applying Hammond's key 10 principles, adopt the key consideration for adding values to the shopper's experience, and implement Hammond's best ideas on turning lookers into buyers. And they found that some of their business challenges were employee turnover, increasing the average consumer purchase amounts, and some of the access to some of the retail locations. What their vision is to be the leading West Coast Gold partner for Hammond's in 2016 with a look to platinum level in 2017. So this is a mechanism for working with the channel manager at Hammond's to come up with the plan, and they use this ongoing throughout the year to make sure that that Ed Smith & Sons results are consistent with the channel plan that was agreed upon. Okay, and the last section I want to show you in here is the libraries, and in the libraries, these are all the document libraries that are available within a partner organization. There's typically many types of different documents, and then I could search through and find a particular. Maybe I'm looking for information on merchandising. I could search through and find all the documents that have been tagged with merchandising, and here I found the item that I want to find the in-store merchandising files, and I can review the document. So this is the mechanism for managing in a very consistent way all the different document libraries that you would have within the organization. And we would argue that as time goes on, is that moving the PDF over to web content would be more ideal, so that would then show up as I'd shown you, as either product information or featured content in the site. Okay, so that's a review, quick review through the capabilities of the PRM. So what I want to do is to walk you through how do I create new content on here. So what my goal is to create a piece of content on the site and have that surfaced up into the area. There's been a few additions to the Gold Partner Program, so my goal today is to create a new featured content article for only Gold Partner users that talks about these new additions into the Gold Partner Program. All right, so let's jump into the Orchestra CMS. What you're looking at here is Orchestra CMS, and this is the area where I manage content within OrchestraPRM. And so I'm currently accessing the site called My PRM Community, and logged in as myself here. And so when I first log into Orchestra CMS, what I see is all of the recent content that I was working on, what we call our Overture tab. This Overture tab shows me all of the content that I was working on recently, or pages or media that I've uploaded. So if I'm working on some items, I can go directly to that item without having to navigate through the menus. I want to take you through a couple of the menus to give you a taste of Orchestra today. So the three main areas within Orchestra, first of all, the media library. And the media library is where we store the unstructured content, things like the images, and we can put files in there as well. Those files that you saw previously, those libraries, those were actually stored out in Salesforce CRM content library. We can also store files within the media library within Orchestra. Now the content section, this is the structured content within Orchestra. All of those content items that you saw within PRM, things like the navigation menu, the image carousels, all the articles, those types of things, those items are all structured content that are built within Orchestra. And we have edit pages that are specifically designed for business users to create this content. There's no need to have IT involvement in creating content within Orchestra. And then pages is where we bring it all together. That's where we assemble the content items into the pages. And of note is that all of our content is completely independent from pages, so that a piece of content can be created and added into multiple pages, and if that content is updated, it's updated once, and everywhere it's used would then be automatically updated. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is that article that I want to create, that new featured content item for the gold users, is within the content area. So I'm going to click into the content area, and there's a couple of aspects I want to walk you through in terms of the CMS capabilities, which are very important features of PRM and Orchestra CMS. So what you're looking at here is the content within the system. We have the name of the content here, and then we have the status down here, whether that content is published or whether it's unpublished. So content that's published is live on the site. That was what we were looking at a moment ago. Then unpublished content is only visible within the Orchestra environment. And we have a feature we call the True View Preview that allows me to see exactly what the content or pages that I'm working on would look like, it's only available within the Orchestra environment. So as a content editor, I can create new content, make sure that it's working fine before I publish that. And then down here is the type of content, and we have a rich set of content types, and that's beyond the scope of today to go into the details. I'm going to be showing you the article content type. Over here we have a start date and expiration date. So the idea here is that if I wanted to create an article that's featured for the fall, maybe that edition's only started up on September 1st, I could set the start date to September 1st and the expiration date, maybe I want to have it visible for the remainder of 2016, set the expiration date of December 31st. Then Orchestra would manage the visibility of that content, only showing it between September 1st and December 31st. So in my edit session, I can stage content for a variety of different dates, publish them, and Orchestra manages the visibility of that content. Then over on the left-hand side, you'll notice a versioning. So what we do is whenever I update a piece of content, I must create a new version of that content. And we keep the prior versions of that content, which facilitates a site auditing capability we call time travel. And the time travel allows me to go back in time and see exactly what the site looked like at any particular point in the past or in the future. If I'm publishing content in the future, I can time travel to the future to see what the site looks like at any point in the future. Okay, so those are some of the important CMS capabilities that we have within the product. So let's get to the task at hand, which is creating that new Gold Partner Benefits Edition. And I've actually pre-created this article, so you didn't have to watch me typing in today's webinar. So in here, you're now looking at the edit screen for a content type called the article. This is where the business users will create the content. And the way that works is that I have an area for the article title, and then I have a rich text editor for the body text. So this is details associated with that. When I click through the item, then I get the body text. And this rich text editor has all the standard word processing buttons that if the user is familiar with, the editor is familiar with a product like Microsoft Word, they can get onto this very quickly. For example, I might want to highlight this, make that bold, italicized. And down here you can see we've got bullets on the item. Okay, so we have standard styling as well in here, and I can add links in here, and if I wanted to, I can add an image, although the article content type also has a summary area, so that title and the summary shows up on the summary screen, and then I click through, I get on the detail. And associated with those, I have a small image. Here I've got my small image that's going to be on the summary screen, and then I have a large image that goes into the detail associated with that. Okay, so that's how I build out this article, and that's all ready to go. So now what I need to do is to, first of all, tell it to show up on that featured content area, and that's the feature we call taxonomy. And a taxonomy allows me to tag that with the appropriate category. In this case, this is under featured content and it's articles. And what we have is a control on that home page that says, go out and get me the 4 most recent items been tagged with featured content articles. I'll click on OK. Okay, but just by doing that, that'll make it show up on the home page. But now we want to target it just to the gold partner users. This is only appropriate for gold partners. I don't want the platinum partners to see that. So let's jump into the properties here. And I'll scroll down, and this is where I select the content targets. In here I have a number of different targets for location by partner tier level. And so this is appropriate for the gold partners only. So I'll select gold partner, and I'll click on OK. And what that means is that within the user record, we have the partner tier, and that'll identify whether it's a platinum, gold, bronze, silver, or bronze. And if it's set to gold, then they're going to see this content. If it's not, they won't see that content. Perfect. Okay, so I'm done. Let me actually save that first here. And I'm done editing that piece of content. So let's go into the preview mode. So let's go into the full preview, and we should now see that showing up on my home page. And sure enough, there it is. There's the gold partner benefit editions. And if I click through that item, I should be able to see the detail. There's the italics that I created, and that looks perfect. So I'm happy with that. All right, so I'm ready to go live with that piece of content now. So I'm able to publish content, but one thing I do want to tell you is that we have the option of adding in an approval workflow process. So the idea is that you may wish to set this up so that content editors must have the content approved by a manager or another person in the organization, and so what they would see is submit for approval at this point. In this case, I can publish the content. Now, if it was set to use the approval process, that uses the Salesforce approval process, so it can be as straightforward as a one-level approval, or it could be a multi-level approval process where it goes from a manager level to a director level, and then possibly even legal for approval. We have one organization that does that. All right, so I'm ready to go. So I'm going to click on Publish, and I'll say yes, and so that's now live. So let's jump back and we'll see what it looks like on Robert's screen. So let's go over to, Paul's screen here. And so I'm going to click on the home page, and let's see what he sees. Sure enough, there it is. There's the gold item. And you can drill down, get the details associated with that. But let's go and have a look at Carlin right now and see what she sees. So she clicks on home. And of course, she's in the Platinum program, so she does not see that content. So that's how the targeting works. Okay, so that's how I wanted to take you through today. What you've seen is the capabilities around our PRM program, and then how to manage the content within PRM using Orchestra CMS. So at this point, I know that Kendall has a number of things that he wants to finish off with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the presenter back over to Kendall to finish off.
That's great, Hugh. Thank you so much for that. Lots of great questions coming through. So let's go ahead and absolutely continue on with the conversation. I know there's some good questions in regards to pricing. So I'm going to go ahead and start off right there. I think that's a good place to start. So let's talk a little about pricing. And I think the very first thing is, and folks, this is where we want to turn the discussion into more of a collaboration. So as I do see some chats coming through, we will also open up the line at just before the end to get any commentary or questions, and we're happy to address them at that point in time. So in terms of pricing, it's really, really simple. The cost for PRM, Orchestra PRM, is 60% of what has been quoted for you by Salesforce for partner community. So for example, if your partner community is a $25 per user per month option, then PRM is a $15 per user per month option. Now what you're seeing on the screen here, folks, is that we also have an early adopter program that we've introduced to the market over the last 72 days since we've launched this product. And what this is to help entice folks to help them introduce to their partners. And so what we've done here is, on top of the cost for the unit, we've added a discount to reduce the cost by 50%. So instead, of course, being $15 a user, it'll be about $77 per user per month. Not only that, but we understand to stand the product up will take some level of services. So we're also going to include 40 hours of professional services to enhance or extend Orchestra PRM to your premises and your needs. If you require the help of an SI, well, we can help with the subcontract with that specific SI that you would use. What we have seen from customers who are utilizing the product, they've seen tremendous value in learning from the live training and the videos that's accessible to them right now through PRM. And as well, we will also dedicate a customer service concierge to help with any questions that you may have. Another question that's coming through the line here is there a minimum user? And can you stand the product alone? I'll start with the latter. So great question. Orchestra PRM works in conjunction with your partner community licenses. So you will require to obtain those licenses to access Orchestra PRM. Does it have to be a one-on-one scenario? We have seen folks start with a crawl, run, walk, run scenario in which you can ramp up licenses. That's a great question. Another question here that's coming through is, can you explain the differences between Orchestra PRM and Orchestra CMS? Great question. Hugh, do you want to tackle that particular question?
I sure do. Thanks, Kendall. So that's a great question. Orchestra PRM is an application that is built on top of Orchestra CMS. And so what I mean by that is that Orchestra CMS is the underlying product that's used to create content within Orchestra PRM. So Orchestra PRM is an actual implementation of a portal. It's a partner portal, partner community that has a set of templates. It's got some functionality. It's got workflow. It's got business logic. It's got specific content items within the system. All of those things that you saw today. It's got a set of page templates for the opportunities, for the leads. It's got a set of dashboards and reports. All of those things are a combination of content that's implemented within Orchestra CMS with Salesforce. So PRM is an actual implementation, and then CMS is the underlying technology to create the content within PRM, and it's all 100% native on the Salesforce platform.
Thanks to you. That's great. Another great question that has come through is, I'm currently using a third-party learning management solution. Can Orchestra PRM work with it?
Sure, absolutely.
Do you want to tackle that question as well, or shall I?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question about that. In fact, I was working with another customer just yesterday that has the same question. They have a product, and so those tabs that you saw across the top are completely configurable. And so where you saw the training and then opportunities and libraries, and you can add additional tabs in there. And so what we agreed to do within that is that one of those tabs, we would just simply change that to call it the Learning Management System. That would open it up in a new tab in the Learning Management System. They would run through their different courses that they are in the Learning Management System, keeps track of where they are, and does all the grading associated with that. And once they're done, they exit out of the Learning Management System and puts them right back where they were within PRM. So we fully work very well with other existing LMS systems. Great question. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is actually a great question. Yes, absolutely a great question. Another question here, is there an authenticated user option? And I can answer that question. There absolutely is. We can marry the user, user option that is allocated by Salesforce for partner community. So be it as it may be named users or authenticated users, we absolutely can model the cost appropriately to whatever model that fits your business. Great questions. Okay, so at this point, perhaps what we can do is open up the line to see if there are any other questions, and we're happy to answer them for you. So as we were here, we'll just go ahead and open up the lines.
Okay, the lines are currently open, so if there are any other questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Okay, Kendall, I don't see any additional questions coming in at this time, so perhaps you can continue on.
No worries. Okay, well, that's great. I think many folks have posted those questions already, so we appreciate those questions that came through. One, of course, question that may be on your mind is how do we get in contact with you? Well, there's three main ways that you can get in contact with myself and Hugh to obtain more information, more in-depth demo specific to your business needs. And the first way, of course, is through Salesforce. And I think this is an important point. We are a platinum partner. This product, Orchestra PRM, has been created in conjunction with Salesforce. And that's important because being a platinum partner and having this product being associated with Salesforce answers a lot of questions as to how it works, its services, its content. And that's important to a lot of Salesforce because we understand that. The second way that you can communicate with us, as you see on your screen here, is through sales@stantive.com. And the third way, of course, is directly through myself, Kendall.Johnson@stantive.com or Hugh.Gale@stantive.com. We're happy to put our email addresses in the chat and get back to you as soon as possible. If there isn't any other additional questions at this point in time, we first would like to thank you for attending our webinar today on Orchestra PRM and wish you a great day. Thank you very much.